From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Hello and welcome to Local Point, brought to you once again by Ashley Regional Medical Center. I'm David Gale, filling in for Chris Piner, your normal host today. Today's topic will be this weekend's Tournament of Champions. We have with us Scott Merkley. He's Vernal Wrestling Club president, and Western Park manager Dirk Hatch. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Tournament of Champions. I think I need like an echo sound to go along with that. Tournament of Champions.
That'd be okay, wouldn't it?
What exactly is it?
Tournament of Champions is one of the oldest wrestling tournaments in the nation.
Really?
Yes, it is. Coach Priest started in 1974, and we've continued every year since then. It's just gotten bigger and better every year.
1974, right here in Vernal.
Yep.
Wrestling's a big deal here. So, you got people coming from how far away?
What would you think?
Three states. We've
Three
got
states.
Three states coming in. 24 varsity teams bringing their JV teams in.
Okay.
And it's the best teams there is.
This is like you're talking about high school range.
Yes.
These kids, a lot of them have been doing it since they were
5 years old.
5 years old, and this is probably kind of like their Super Bowl, I imagine.
It's
pretty close.
They say this tournament is tougher than their state tournament.
Really?
Yes.
So people, they could win state and it wouldn't mean necessarily nothing. They got to come to Vernal first.
Well, a lot of times when they rank these wrestlers across the United States, they will take last year's placement in their state finals and how they placed in the Tournament of Champions ranks above that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty prestigious.
Yeah, it is.
It's neat.
So where did you say we got Utah,
Colorado,
Wyoming, and I know that Colorado, that's
they're
big wrestling state. Granby.
They're tough.
Yeah.
Colorado is by far tough.
The last 2 years, Roosevelt has taken it from Colorado.
Yeah.
And
Really?
They are ranked usually in the top 5 of the nation every year.
So how is the Uinta Basin compared to these other states?
You get outside of Utah, and Uinta High is very, very famous for what they've been able to do. I forget, with 32 state or 33 state championships in the last 40-some years.
Wow.
They're just extremely famous. We've had a huge run of the best high school coaches ever produced, and right now we have Greg Stensgaard, who's probably the best high school coach that's ever coached high school. He competes on a world level.
Yeah.
He's
He just
quite
won
the stuff.
something really cool, right?
Tell him about it, Scott.
He just competed in Poland for the World Championships in Greco-Roman wrestling and was in the finals this year and took second by a slim margin. And last year he took third, losing a match in overtime by a slip to the guy that ended up winning it.
Wow.
So having Coach Stensgaard here, we have the elite of the elite.
You've got incredible talent.
Yes. You just don't get any better.
And then he surrounds himself with the rest of the best wrestling coaches available that are his assistants. We have an ideal setup.
So let's talk a little bit about the actual tournament itself. Where does it take place, dates, things like that?
That's going to be this Friday and Saturday at Western Park. It'll actually start, are we starting at 3 o'clock?
So that's the 6th and the 7th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, and we'll have the lineup of the teams and all the, it's quite impressive to see these many hundreds of wrestlers line up and come in with their team presentations. VTV will be there filming it, but it's quite impressive to see that many wrestlers come in. You don't regularly see this many mats in one spot to be able to hold a 32 bracket tournament until you get back east. There's some bigger tournaments back there that are national tournaments, but they don't have any more talent than we have here. So Scott will go over some of the prices that are available as far as a 2-day pass, a round pass, things like that. But it's going to be this weekend at Western Park, and you'll see the best wrestlers. Used to be in about a 6-state region, but we've had to confine that down to 3 states now to be able to hold it.
Okay, so Scott, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's grown so much that when it started, it was in a high school.
Okay.
And the majority of our tournaments we go to now are still in high schools. But this tournament has blossomed into such a big event that we've had to move it to the Western Park and hold it with Dirk and able to get all of our mats in there. It's just phenomenal. A lot of people come to this for the first time and they're in awe. They're just, not only your wrestlers that haven't really traveled to big tournaments, you have to go to a nationally ranked tournament to see something this big. And there you're traveling to Iowa and all, throughout Virginia, stuff like that. So the people that come in here, if you live here and you miss this tournament, it's a sad thing because you just don't go anywhere to see this kind of caliber wrestling.
Right.
We have not only a lot of the top teams in the nation, we have the best kids in the nation. Whether it's what weight class it is, each team brings 1 or 2 kids that are ranked top in the nation.
That's incredible. Costs. We got just a couple seconds before we have to go to break.
Basically, $20 will get you into anything, a reserve seat where you've got the best seat to watch everything. That we do have family values starting at $50 and they go all the way down to $10 per round. But it's a really inexpensive tournament to bring your family to.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back for break. So stay with us. Right back to learn more about the Tournament of Champions. I have to say it like that from now on. Right after this message from our sponsor, Ashley Regional Medical Center.
Ashley Regional Medical Center now offers neonatal services and a Level 2 nursery, along with our quality obstetrical services. The Level 2 nursery provides state-of-the-art monitoring and clinical care for infants at 32 weeks and older. The team of skilled nurses, pediatricians, and family practice physicians, along with Medical Director Dr. Daniel Kwok, neonatologist, help Ashley Regional Medical Center offer your infant excellent care right here at home.
Hello, welcome back to Local Point, where today's topic is the Tournament of Champions, a wrestling tournament. I'm joined by Scott Merkley and Dirk Hatch here today. We've been talking about, what a prestigious event this is, but I'd like to switch gears a little bit and talk about what wrestling means to our community. We seem to have a pretty supportive community for wrestling. Is that true?
Very true, very true.
And that starts with just the little kids. So what opportunities do kids have for wrestling here?
They can generally start around 5 years old, and they can continue till their coach Stensgaard's age. It's a good motivator for them. It gives them self-confidence. It teaches them discipline, and to where they can go on throughout their life and face other challenges, and they have that installed in them that they will be fine and they can work through about anything.
And you're the president of the Vernal Club, the wrestling club. What does that entail? I mean, if I've got a 5-year-old kid who wants to wrestle and eventually maybe do it in high school, what are the different classifications?
They'll start out in what's called the Tiger League, which is your young kids that's kind of new and learning, and they'll graduate through that up into, I'd like to say, a Team Extreme Wrestling, and which is the UNA program.
Okay.
And the junior high program, and keep moving up to the high school program, and which is overseen by Coach Stensgaard and all his coaches, and you go up through that, and once Coach Stensgaard gets a hold of you, you generally find yourself in college wrestling.
Yeah.
He has put more kids in college wrestling than I believe any other coach in the other sports.
And it's, being someone who, I didn't grow up wrestling, I never wrestled before, but I took my son to one of these practices, and it's so fun to see all these people. You may think that wrestling is nothing more than just a couple guys tossing each other around, but there's a lot more that the kids learn from this.
Oh yeah, yes, there is.
The self-discipline involved is just second to none.
Yeah,
it really is.
My oldest son was just really shy and quiet and stuff, and when he started wrestling at the age of 5, it made him confident, to where he held himself high, and he went on to do everything he's done and showed that he could do it.
That's cool. Now, jumping back over to the tournament, Western Park. What is Western Park's job in all of this? How did this become this partnership? We
were able to put 8 to 10 mats on the floor. That's what we were actually needing to be able to do to run. We've actually had a 64 bracket tournament at times. We knew then at that time that was just too much for this little town to be able to handle, so we backed off to the 32 brackets. And Greg's very happy with the availability of bringing in the quality teams that he wants to see here that have built the tournament to their. But our primary goal is to service all the people, take care of everything that needs to be taken care of with 2,000 spectators and whatnot. What a lot of people don't realize is all of the funding that comes from this tournament, that goes to support the younger programs, the
right here.
League. Yeah, that's the funding, because there's not a lot of district funding available like there used to be. Used to be wrestling had the biggest crowds at them. When Scott and I were kids here, that had by far the biggest crowds as far as attendance. you can't believe the following that follows this crowd. So
Yeah.
it's pretty neat to watch.
Yeah, in fact, in my head, because I've never been to one of these things, all I can see is the last scene of the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
You know, and people around these mats and stuff, and
Yeah.
somebody doing a crane kick. Of course, they won't be doing that in wrestling, but
You never know.
you know, tell me about the spectacle that if somebody who's never been involved in wrestling wants to pay some money to go see this, you know, it's more than just sitting there. It seems like there's a lot of, you know, like I say, spectacle.
Exactly.
To it.
Well, when you've got 8 mats on the floor, it's really hard to be able to follow it if you're not a student of the sport. It's really confusing to follow all the different weight classes. But the main spectacle I think that you want to hear about and what people want to see, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, would be the finals on Saturday night that start at 6 o'clock, where it's narrowed down to 1 mat. That's the premium of the premium. College coaches galore, scouts. These are the premium wrestlers in the Western United States.
We have scouts coming to this to look for.
Always have had.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Kids could be picked up by college scouts.
You bet.
Yep.
That's awesome. So, if you pay to go in, though, on Friday, on the 6th, you make it into the Saturday tour part of the
Yeah,
tournament,
if you
correct?
get the tournament pass, you bet.
Okay, so again, tell us again the price breakdown.
It's
times.
It's a $20. It's $20. They're available all the time until Saturday morning. Then you just get the regular day pass. But it's $20. Gets you Friday and Saturday, or $10. You can come in and watch the final Saturday night.
And it starts on the 6th at, like, you said 3 o'clock, I think?
We have to wait till school's out, 3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, we
to
got
be able to do that.
We can't take kids out of
That's right.
school.
No.
That's right.
And then whenever it ends on Saturday, the final match sometime that evening?
About
Six-
5:30.
Yes.
Around 5:30.
And then we'll kick it in and do the finals till about 8:30, 9 o'clock.
All right, I'm excited. Proud of our little Vernal and Uinta Basin once
Be
again.
proud, because this is a very big feather in their cap for northeastern Utah. We have a huge wrestling legacy, and it is something we all need to be very proud of.
All right.
Come support our kids. These athletes have worked hard. They've
Yeah.
worked all summer long, and you're going to see some great wrestling.
Definitely.
Great
All right.
wrestling.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. And, of course, thank you all for watching today's show. That's all for now. Please join us next time right here on VTV Channel 6.